Afternoon, Ian.
Afternoon.
Thank you. The words we're sitting in this morning is healing. Healing. And so I just draw a circle around you. You draw a circle around you. Step in it. Be in it. And imagine healed.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Morning, Greg.
Morning, Craig. Guys, if I suddenly hang off, I'm in the airport for my flight, so
Oh,
if I suddenly
yeah.
hang off, I'm on to my flight.
No worries, man. And safe travels. So exciting.
Remember to take some great pictures so we can see it on Facebook.
I will when I get back. I'm having a 10-day break off social media, so when I get back, I will. I want to stay in present moment, so
Oh, the word was healing. We drew a circle around ourselves and put the healing in the middle and just put our attention on healed for whatever's healing. Put attention on that area. And imagine a future time that's healed. Sending healing. And receiving healed. Between what we want and where we are. Always an underlying structure. It's either flowing or resisting. Healing is flowing. Healed is where we're at, where we want to be. That helps us take the action to be healed, to know what's next. Tap into intuitiveness. Give healed, allow healing. And that circle will dissolve away.
What if we don't know what health feels like?
I would say that's resistance.
I would say, for me personally, like, that, like, I've got a condition, but for me, I have got health. I can walk, I can talk, I can see, I can hear. So it's completely changed because I have got health. I'm in the airport right now. I'm not going on a flight. I have got health.
Mhm.
What's my definition of health? I can walk, I can talk, I can see. I can be independent. I can go on holiday alone. I can cook. I can, yeah. for loads of health.
Loads of healthy. Thank you, Ian.
Like my friend's friend, not my friend. Well, we're sort of friends, but my friend's friend, he's paralyzed from the neck down, and he learned to drive and everything. And it was just like, wow, like so inspirational. Like you're paralyzed and you've learned to drive, and you're doing so much. And he was engaged, he was getting married and everything.
I just came to me with the question, Craig, was which orientation are we looking? Are we looking backwards or forwards? And what I mean by that, and not particular to you, but in the question, I heard it as I'm looking backwards and searching for what healthy is as an experience of it, a memory of it. Could be an orientation. People could have that orientation. Could be a structure. Something we tend to do as we look towards the past. And then another is to create healthy, to create health, to be health is in a forward direction.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a way to step into the emotion of that desired reality.
Me healing is a frequency.
I'm looking for a reference point. And I might have to go preconception for that too.
And you're free to make it up.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's the structure that's
Yeah, like
important.
inventing a new emotion for that reference point.
Yeah. That's where the could, what could it be?
Yeah.
I've been able like to completely shift my perspective on health. Because to me, I'd say to me like 6 years ago, even though I was a bit more, let's say, healthy than I am now, I've never felt more healthy than I do now. It's hard to explain. It's just a feeling of abundance. Like I can walk, I can talk, I can see, I can go to the bathroom. Just the little things. Really hard to explain. In words, anyway.
You know, you're looking at the percentage that is healthy, which is usually very high, rather than focusing on this small percentage that is not.
I've lost the shift because I used to focus on a small percentage that isn't.
Yep. And I could be wrong. May not be in our cards to be healed. The cosmic intention.
But there's all different forms of pain, and like my physical body may never be fully healed, but my emotional body is being healed. I can feel that. My spiritual body is being healed. I can feel that.
Yeah.
My mental health, mental body is being healed. I can feel that.
Mm.
Yeah, here's what I'm getting is to change the meaning of what, like reframe the meaning of what healthy means to me. See, that whole thing about like health and illness and diagnosis and all that kind of stuff really isn't helpful. You know, those labels really don't help anything. It's like telling yourself, okay, I have this condition, which means I'm not healthy.
Yeah, it's focusing on that small percentage of unhealthy. And that's where the focus grows. So that's what we experience in that structure.
I feel it's letting go of fear. Like I don't have fear about my health anymore like I used to. No matter what happens, I know I can handle it. And just all fear's gone. And because I also know that there's no end, we go on. We just go back home, that's it. Like about my hearing, when I found out, when I've been noticing my hearing, it's like there's no fear there. It's just, it is what it is. My flight's been delayed by half an hour. Okay. I've got another half hour of waiting in excitement to go on a plane.
Structure is always the focus points. And it's aware of those focus points, either that or aware of the resistance. And resistance can only exist in 2 points. Meaning can only exist in 2 points. 2 or more, yeah, but it just can't be in one. So often we take the other point, the second point, the not obvious point, we take it for granted. It's not part of our conditioning to look for it. But it is always where we are, the present moment. The example that I love to use in structure of 2 points, as Ian's going on vacation. Now, I don't believe this will be true for Ian, but if you go on vacation to a country that speaks a different language than you, imagine landing there, trying to get around, trying to find your hotel, No one speaks your language. This will create different feelings for people based on their backgrounds, their experiences. The point is, we have no meaning, which is the second point, to what's being said. They have no meaning for what we say. Only when we can put meaning to it. So, in all ways, in our communication, is the meaning that's the second point. The understanding, how we interpret it, how we make it up. And then that creates the resistance or the flow. That was my word this morning, was aware of the resistance. Resistance awareness. Looking for that second point. Such as if we're on that trip, as we find someone that can speak our language. Ah, what a relief. Whew, that might be. A tool that can translate. Oh, what a relief that might be. That's the power of looking at opposites. As we've tended, our life is fixated on one part of the equation, one part of the opposite. And the other side is the other point, the other structure that creates the 2 points, creates 3 points, because we're right where we are. And so I was working awareness as I read an article that said one of the most powerful thing we can do, but most of us don't, And it has to do with admitting I may be wrong. Exploring when we are. Curious when someone tells us we are. So always has me sit in wonder of like, how can I quickly help people see their resistance? How can I see mine? So that's my word of awareness to our resistance this morning.
Where we feel resistance, there's most possibility of growth. Being aware of it is starting to grow.
So it's the awareness of the resistance that gives the opportunity. So simple and so valuable.
Your words today, wasn't it, Allison?
My words were simplicity and integration.
Mm.
And I guess actually it's synchronicity as well. I love the synchronicity that happens with integration, or the integration that happens with synchronicity. That's more accurate.
So we practice that here in the mornings as we say, here's our word.
Mm-hmm.
And we're holding the tension of that word, anticipating it to show up, to reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all this has helped me reframe my question. So here's the reframe. I wonder how health could be effortless.
Great. What matters is that you took a step
Yeah.
towards it, you know? So then it has you looking for that, which then you ask, well, what would be the outcome of that? What could be?
Even articulating that question has given me a sense of tingling throughout my whole body.
I connect that to the right direction, the truth. That's my read on mine.
Yeah, me too. It's like, whoa. I heard a suggestion
What
a
I
few
wrote,
days ago to talk to your DNA,
mhm.
to tell your DNA what you want to feel.
What I saw this morning is that when we are wrong, in inverted commas, and the awareness of it, then there's opportunity for more, for other, and mostly for supporting diversity and a multidimensional way of being. Health is both physical and vibrational. Everything is both physical and vibrational in the world. But it's our awareness of it that is the real strength of it, of life.
Are you saying the vibrational part is the real strength? Is that what you said?
No, our awareness is the real strength.
Okay.
It's the space between knowing and not knowing, or knowing and questioning. Making a choice for that moment and realizing that you might need to make a different choice in another moment. So it's your orientation again, right? For me, choice is orientation. It's so interesting how when we think about life and we think about how small we are, and yet how impactful we can be. For me, that's a miracle.
Excuse me, Alison,
Yeah.
what was the word? Impactful?
Sorry, Hans, can you ask that again?
What was your last word? Impactful, or what was it?
Yeah, impact.
Impact. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
impactful. Yeah. So the difference that we can make, even though our presence in the scheme of things is so small.
Yeah, but what
when
we
you just,
are is not small.
that's right.
Who we are is small.
Yeah.
What we are is not.
Yeah.
So I was taking that phrase, you are wrong. And it's like, you are wrong. It's like all of you is wrong. It's like, no wonder that hurts so much.
Mm.
It's like, it's like the process yesterday. It's like, go back to that moment that you first heard that.
Mm.
It's, to Craig's point, it speaks to your identity. It's like, no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in that moment. It's that small thing of everything else that was wrong, not all of it. Yet we took it on that we are wrong. All of us is wrong. And that's where we begin to focus in on so we don't be wrong. Focusing on the minute, the little bit, rather than the big impactful that we are. Focusing on the identity rather than the wholeness, the love, the truth, everything else that's there.
The fundamental nature.
It is so true. That's the big division in our world here, is that if we can't admit that we might be wrong, we can't hear any other point of view.
Mm. And we limit ourselves.
Big time.
And others.
Right and wrong is just, we defend it so viciously. For nothing. Except for to feel good for a moment. And it doesn't even do that. It's that awareness. It's that we have an operating system. We have an operating structure that's already operating. It's already doing its thing. We're just not aware of it for the most part.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's like we think we're driving, in all reality, we're on top of an elephant.
Hmm. That either or thinking is such a trap,
Mm.
though.
Yes, it is. It sure is. But falls right in it too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, especially when our identity is at stake.
Yeah.
Thank you for my morning. Unfortunately, I need to go for today. Have a great day, everybody.
My
Big
Allison.
love,
Thank
Allison.
you. She gave a lot of good pieces in the chat this morning. Thank you, Alice.
Yeah, a lot of perspective.
Mhm. Going back through time as she wrote them. When we are wrong, there is opportunity for more, for other, supporting diversity and multidimensional ways of being. Sending joy and excitement with Ian for his vacation. Recognizing resistance, she says, gives opportunity for using it as one stepping stone and wiggling and expanding. and focusing on the subtle differences. As we spoke about health, we spoke about resistance, we spoke about structure, simplicities. I pull apart what we want and expectations. What's the same and what's different? Because it is a sneaky one. To me, they can be the difference between mobilization and motivation. Good morning, Pascal.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pascal.
How you guys doing?
Good. Right. And we're just launched into in structure, the difference between expecting and wanting or desiring.
Expecting and wanting and desiring.
Now, if I lumped wanting and desiring as like entangle them together and compare that to expectations. How that works in our lives, in our structures, in reference to resistance.
Well, it's
And I was just speaking to me as it's like the difference between mobilization, and motivation. Flowing and resistance. And how my expectations make me right.
Yeah, I lost most of it. Like, I didn't hear anything you said, Jesse. My internet went weird on me. So I left you at wanting, desire that you were combining together, and expecting.
Mhm. Just comparing how we, so awareness, right? And comparing how those show up. Especially like as we create, if we're creating, if we're choosing, right? I can speak to it. For me, it's a difference between mobilizing and motivation.
So what is the difference?
Mobilizing is like doing work for your passionate work. And motivation is like showing up to a job you hate.
Okay.
And that's an extreme example of it. Like something else has to motivate you to do it. And that's what takes so much energy. My point is when we expect things, we assume they're going to go that way. And we get frustrated when they don't. That's the danger in our expectations. And so when that happens, then we go back to our familiar structure. That's how it appears to me. When our wants and desires, it's always there. We're looking for them, right? We're choosing them. They show up when they show up, and it's, oh, there it is. When expecting is, as I want it by this time.
Yeah.
A certain way.
A certain way, you bet. It's got to look this way. So it can only turn out that way. Minus, forget all the other ways it can go. I'm determining how it's going to show up.
Yeah, expecting is like, it's something that it's similar. Like it's something you've seen in the past almost, right? Like,
Mm.
then when it doesn't go your way, then that's when you get a breakdown.
Ah, yes.
Or you're expecting because you think you have the skills for it or the knowledge for it. But then the universe has a different plan for you. And you're like, I've done everything right.
Yep. Everything I know how to do with it, right? Just like I did from the last time. How come it turned out differently? Or how come it's not going this way? I'm thinking about it, right? I'm desiring it. I'm putting it in the structure. I'm removing the resistance. I'm recoding the resistance out of the way, right? All that. How come I don't have it?
Yeah, because the expectation remains. There's a hidden agenda in it.
Yeah. Meaning, it's like I'm dictating the way that it has to go. Which is in all reality true.
Mm.
Timing is timing appears to be the difference between the desire, what we desire, like sitting in the tension and desiring it. You could say the true choices, right? It's like true choices. It's like there is no time to it. It's like at any time, every time, all the time.
Yeah, and for me, what's even more important than that is like, who is it feeding? If say I achieved the goal or whatever, was it feeding like my ego, my identity, or it was feeding like my heart?
Mhm.
And maybe because it didn't go my way, it's because it wasn't for my highest desire and the highest desire of everybody. It was just to feed my ego mind.
Mhm.
And by not achieving, you would say, that goal, then you gotta look inside. Was it really what I really wanted? Or it was to feed that character?
Yes, yes, so good, Pascal. What I hear is like aware of the information. It's like, oh, yeah, I probably, of course, I got wrapped up in it, right? Of course, I have default patterns that are always going to want to take over. And I just need a recorrection. Nothing more than that. Just information. The feedback's there. Such a different structure. Such a different orientation. Subtle, simple, very little, very subtle. But impactful.
Sounds like my dog is eating rocks this morning.
Did you say rocks?
Rocks, yeah. Like it was like so loud. I was like, what the hell? Mm. A boulder.
It's a rock hound.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll eat anything. Crazy. Jesus. Yeah, the most disgusting is like she eat the other one's poop. And I'm like, really? It has to be fresh though. You know, it has to be fresh, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she's feeding her ego mind just for the highest good of ourselves. Or maybe others, right? You don't have to clean up after her or after the other guy.
Yeah, whatever story you want to work in, man. Whatever story
Yes.
works for you.
Yeah. So how's Craig after the recode? I missed half of it, but
Yeah, that's very interesting, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now it seems like it's all the forefront, right? But we still have the choice to still go back to our old pattern. But now we see it, right? So that's a bit harder to go back to the same.
Yeah, what I'm seeing actually is that my current reality health is really tied to that event.
Oh,
That before conception event.
Yeah, now I think it's, now that you saw it, right? It's like, hey, let it go. It's past. You can only think about the past in the present.
Yeah, well, sort of. But it's deeper than that. It's like what I'm realizing is that intention,
Sorry about that.
that intention shared by my parents actually defined me, defined my identity. For most of my life. And now here's an opportunity to change my orientation toward that identity.
Yeah, it's when you see it that it didn't belong to you. It came from your dad, your mom, your friend, your whatever,
Yeah,
coworker.
yeah, yeah. It
Well,
was never mine, but I thought it was, right?
none of our program comes from ourselves.
Well, yeah, yeah.
None of them.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
We think they belong to us, and then we attach stories to them and reinforce our belief around them.
Pascal, would you agree that we did choose them though?
Yeah, we definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
thanks.
At one point, like we did.
Yeah.
You know?
We took it on. It wasn't our idea. It wasn't, but how we heard it, we said, "Oh, that's our choice," without realizing what we were choosing.
Yeah, and usually it's to stay safe, to stay limited, to stay small,
Hmm.
to not, make move the rocks, I guess, right? Like,
From the little opportunities that are there as a child, right, to understand the differences, to understand what that means by choosing that, to understand that there was another choice. We don't necessarily see it at that time.
mhm.
Just so often we think, well, I didn't make that choice. It's like, yeah, we don't remember making that choice. And it wasn't a choice at the time.
Yeah,
A choice means you have options. We didn't realize we had options.
yeah. Well, we run like our unconscious 95% of the time.
Mhm.
So are we really conscious of our choices?
That's right. And in that young age, right, when we're in a hypnosis state, are we really choosing?
No,
Yeah, we're
not
more
really.
just yeah, we're
We're
more
just
just recording. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So no wonder.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you're very suggestible when you're in that state.
Yes. And who do we look towards? Our parents.
Well, we adopt things and then we identify with them.
They
Like that's
exactly
behaviors and attitudes and all that stuff.
the environment, all that was going on around us. That's why everyone's different.
Hmm.
Fascinating, so fascinating.
And it's not genetics.
Right, and it is.
Well, but yeah, it is too. Yeah, it's both. It's a combination of those.
But like a much deeper level, Pascal. And I know what you're meaning.
Yeah.
It's all the information that's remembered in the genetics. That's a whole other dimension.
Yeah, I notice the ads for 23andMe. That's where you can get your DNA profile done. I notice their ads are talking about these diseases that that are marked in your genetics, right? And totally ignoring epigenetic science.
Yeah, that's just it.
Right. That kind of freaked me out the other day. I saw that and I went, oh, wow.
So I'll give you one because I mean, like I heard about epigenetics, I heard about genetics, but then I never knew someone that was an identical twin. And so one of them, she can drink alcohol like a fish. The other one is allergic to the alcohol. Same genetics,
Mhm. Yeah,
some
yes.
one of them like can eat like very spicy food. The other one like she'll be sick. And like that shocked me like like it was just like, whoa. I heard about epigenetics from Bruce Lipton and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
And then she went to see a doctor and she said, how can you explain that? And the doctor, when she said like, yeah, like it's not genetics, it's epigenetics. And then like the doctor was like, yeah, I can't really talk about this right now.
Yeah.
That's just it. That you're doomed because of your gene is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have some gene that like they're more prone to something, but
Yeah.
what activates them is your environment.
Well, I see that as one of the new therapies is influencing your genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to influence your own DNA.
I would say it's all emotional. emotion, meaning the
Yeah, I'd
chemical
go-
reactions, right? The
Yeah.
retraining of that's exactly what, and it takes a story or it takes words to, which I mean intention to do.
Yeah, yeah,
But it is the structure of what Chris teaches, right? It's what do you want or desire and stepping into that feeling of it. That is restructuring this DNA, the cells,
yeah, but that's a transitional step because
Mhm.
it's actually more about using the influence of consciousness itself in order to do things like that, in order to change your genetics, in order how they express themselves, how to how to change the way you live life,
just it's
how to
changing the
invent
habit.
new things, all that stuff.
a
It's like it's all about consciousness.
It's just a habit, yeah.
Yeah.
Pattern.
Yep.
It's creating a new pattern that generates those chemical reactions versus the old ones.
Yeah, but it's because you're in expanding consciousness, right?
Yes, expanding rather than limited. You bet.
Yeah, as your consciousness expands, you have more and more access to multidimensional um, facilities.
It sure is. Stories and emotions are changing the chemical reactions that are going on in our body all the time already.
Yeah, we're changing moment to moment.
Moment to moment with practice
Yeah.
and intention. You bet your ass.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy. And then I expect it when I do it once, I expect it to be fixed forever, right?
Yeah, it's been like
Yeah, it's
I
about
think it
keeping
all,
going though.
yeah,
Yes.
it always comes down to like being present moment to moment.
Mhm.
And like if you always bring it back to present, 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 how can you be anxious? How can you be depressed? How can you be, you can't, because like if you're talking about anxious, but it's because you're thinking about the future. If you're thinking about depressed, because like you're thinking about the past, and so on and so on. So if you're in the present moment, like you got neutral emotion, like it's
Yep. It means you can see it for what it is. Like
yeah.
better, at least better than rather than being fixed or limited in it, for sure.
Yeah, and be okay with any outcome, good or bad, you would say.
Mhm. There's the expectation again, right? Oh, I expect it to be good.
Yeah.
It has to be good. It can't be bad.
Yeah.
And the genetics of survival for millennia, right? Well, gentlemen, been a great morning. Thank you.
Yep, a lot of new stuff. Didn't know about epigenetics.
Oh, yeah, look at Bruce Lipton. He did a lot of research on epigenetics.
The part of the DNA that 50 years ago, maybe 60 years ago now, we thought was junk, so we just tossed it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the funny part.
It's where
Yep.
genius lies.
Yeah, that's where true
Yeah.
nature is too.
Yeah.
And that stuff we can't explain.
Yep.
So that's
Well,
where
when
I
I heard
find
like, yeah, when I heard like we see only, I like, don't quote me on that, like 0.002 or something
Mhm.
of a reality.
Mhm.
Like we see nothing.
And
But
in
we
that direct,
still, yeah, but we still like rely on these 5 physical senses. That's like, that's it. That's all there is.
and they say in that there's so, like in what we see, it's so much we already anticipate, we already know how it's going to go, and we only see that doesn't go how we expect it.
Ooh. Oh.
Say that again?
Hey, so our mind already plays out how things are going to go, and the only reason that it pops out at us because it's different than what we expected it to go as.
Hmm.
Right? You only
Yeah,
see things
that
that
becomes the
stand
most
out in the
obvious.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's like,
Yeah.
but our mind is already playing out how it is expecting it to go, which is what we really see. So we're not seeing it as it's happening. We're seeing as our mind, as our mind projects it to go. That is nuts.
so we are tricking ourselves.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's you know, it's how we've conserved energy.
Hmm.
I call it the lazy brain. It was a fascinating study that they just released on. They showed people cooking breakfast, right? And it's like everybody knows how we do it. And he says it triggered a whole like they could watch the brain work because of the sensors that were implanted inside of people with epilepsy seizures. And so they had them watch someone making breakfast, and it like said that like it went to the brain fired in such a different area than when they showed them like in making breakfast, but showed random acts of it along the way, like a different sequence of it. And so what they made up is like, oh, we connect it to us doing the activity until the activity doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
Hmm. Do you know where you found that, Jesse?
Oh, I think I can find it again. I think I can pull it up again. It was in like the Psychology Today or probably something like that the last couple of days.
Wow.
Are you sure
Yeah.
it doesn't come from you, Jesse?
It definitely did, right?
I think that's why they tie learning to alpha brainwave activity. I don't think that's correct, actually. Where real learning happens actually is in theta and delta.
Yeah, and the knowingness, right? Like remembering.
Yeah, in the knowingness, exactly, where your concentration is somewhat scattered,
Yeah.
you know. And it's labeled as attention deficit, but it's not a deficit. It's actually a superpower.
You know, I used to be really shy, first of all, and then like I joined these Zoom group or whatever, and then like, but I was always like thinking about what I'm gonna say, you know, when it was my turn. And it comes out like so bad, you know, nobody understands what I'm saying, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is so frustrating, right? Until I just let go and then like just be in the present moment with every individual, and then what comes, then I just say it, right? I just don't wait to be my turn, you would say, and like try to formulate things in my head before to say it. And it's so much easier. It's just like it just comes out. You know, you don't have to think.
Yeah. In fact, it's better if you don't.
No, exactly. Well, thinking is when you don't know.
Yeah. It's when you think you don't know. Or you
And you
think
were
you do
listening.
know.
And you were sort of listening to speak. You were listening to what other people say, but you were listening so you could speak about it. So you didn't actually hear all the words they were saying.
No, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't that expectation at the same time, right? Like you formulate something and be like, oh, like people will be like so shocked of what I'm gonna say. Meanwhile, it wasn't really relevant to what they were saying. Because I
It's
wasn't
great.
in the present moment.
It's great to shock people with what you say. It brings awareness to what you are saying. It might not be what you wanted them to be aware of, but anyway.
Yeah. And it started because like I moved here out west, and then like I didn't speak English, right? And then I was with a group of people that, you know, that's their first language. And then I always had to think in French and then like translate it in English and then like say it. But then when I say it, you know, they already passed like 3 subjects, right?
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. I got my opinion. It's in.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a blessed day. Love and hugs.
All right. You guys too.
Thank you,
Until next time.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank
love
you,
and hugs,
Pascal.
everybody. This has been awesome today.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is it always?
Oh, yeah.
Seems that way, doesn't
Or
it?
just
Yeah, but-
today? Just today. I
Yeah,
like
we're
to
just talking
tease.
about today.
Yeah, just today.
We're
Yeah,
being
we're in the
blessed.
present moment, right?
That's
We don't
right,
know
just right
what
now.
happened yesterday.
That's right. It was different. It was different.
Yes.
How do you know it was different?
Yeah. Just it wasn't today.
It wasn't
It just
today.
was.
It was new. It was
That's
new.
right. And tomorrow will be different. That's all.
No
We're getting pretty
expectation,
good at
guys.
creating new, you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
Practice.
No
It just doesn't
expectation,
show
right?
up. That's right. We just can't think about it once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Okay, have a great day,
Okay,
everybody.
guys. Yeah, you too.